You're watching Fox and Friends.
The Commerce Department released some staggering numbers. Over the last decade, U.S. companies added 1.5 million jobs. One problem, overseas, while 864,000 American jobs were cut here at home. So how can we keep American jobs here at the homeland? Here to help us answer that is the CEO of Legacy Companies, radio talk show host, and author of Conscientious Equity, Neal Asbury. Nice to see you this morning, Neal. Welcome.
Thank you, Clayton. It's good to be back.
Well, great to have you, and I think a lot of companies wondering how to maybe get their way through this giant spider web of a mess, and I think one thing we keep hearing at the top of your list is simplify the tax code. Easy to say, how do we do it?
Well, there's some really good ideas out there, like the flat tax and the fair tax. But right now, our tax code, believe it or not, discriminates against people like me, American manufacturers, for creating jobs here at home. And one of the things that we have to do is get away from this rhetoric of tax the rich, tax the rich, tax our job creators. I mean, that's just scaring people away. I started my career as an Asian manufacturer, and I've come back home for many, many good reasons. It's just good business to do business here in the United States. But one thing that we're going to scare people away, like me, is this whole tax thing that is really consuming our media today.
Yeah, all these loopholes, you're not sure where and what sort of breaks you get. And anecdotally, over the Christmas break, I was visiting my family out on the West Coast, two of which own businesses out there, some rather large, some rather small. They say, whatever you do, don't start a business in California because regulations will kill you. You can't do it. You say on your list, get rid of those onerous burdens of regulation. How do you do it?
Well, Clayton, you're going to find this counterintuitive. I just acquired another business in California about 3 months ago, and it's one of my most profitable businesses.
How'd you do it?
Well, we have a wonderful workforce, and I think that's what a lot of people are missing here. I've managed Asian workforces, and I got to tell you, the American worker, including the California worker, are some of the most efficient in the world. But you said something very important, onerous regulations. Regulations cost our economy more than $1.7 trillion a year. Imagine what a stimulus that would be if we were to lessen that by 50%. You know, this $800 billion that we just spent on a failed stimulus did nothing except put us in debt. Let's get rid of some regulation, and that will really be the stimulus that we're looking for.
Number 3 on your list is provide access to foreign markets. A lot of businesses feel handicapped in that regard. Explain this.
Well, here's my point, is that countries like China and India and Brazil demand that American manufacturers set up facilities in their countries in order to do business in their countries. Conversely, here in the United States, we accept their products essentially duty-free. So what I'm saying is give the American exporter access to foreign markets in the same way that they have access to our markets. Don't make us build factories in China so we can sell to the Chinese people. Give us access to foreign markets. That's all we're looking for. We're not looking for bailouts or handouts. We're just looking for a fair deal here.
When you talk to some business owners, they say we need legal immigration in this country. Otherwise, our business will crumble if we stop it completely. How do we get proper immigration reform to help businesses?
Well, we got to get back to American exceptionalism. And part of American exceptionalism was bringing the best minds of the world to our country. I mean, the whole foundation of the Internet was based on immigrant minds. Some of our greatest businesses, look at Steve Jobs. He was the son of an immigrant. Andrew Carnegie, Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison were all immigrants or sons of immigrants. So we got to get an immigrant policy that helps people like me build businesses in America by attracting the world's best minds. Immigrants don't take jobs, they make jobs.
You mentioned Steve Jobs and in bringing in some of the best and brightest engineers in the country, but also spending money on research and development and improving that workforce. How do you continue to improve a workforce when you might not have a lot of money to do it?
Well, what I believe is this, is that over the next decade, I mean, Governor Romney said, essentially, we got to get back to American exceptionalism. And I believe America will get back to American exceptionalism, and that will create the jobs that 20 million Americans right now are so desperately waiting for. And one of the things we have to do is to educate them. And education isn't just a college degree.
Right.
More than half the jobs we will create in this next decade are technical jobs, jobs like I need need machine operators, CAD operators, CNC operators. We can train these people relatively quickly, and we can get them into the job force doing really wonderful things and helping to build America.
Neal Asbury is the author of Conscientious Equity. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Some great ideas.
Thank you, Clayton.